Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun and Reviews, and we're talking about Beautiful Boy, an Amazon original movie. This is take 4. I have tried to make this video 3 other times tonight because I have been unsatisfied with what I've been trying to say about this movie. Recently, I posted my own story of sobriety, and I feel almost like I'm going to sound too judgy about this movie. One thing I will say is that this is the movie that single-handedly tarnished the way I will ever watch The Office again, because Michael and Holly were happy on that show. And now they're divorced and they have a kid that's got a crystal meth and heroin addiction. So thanks, Beautiful Boy, for making me never be able to see Michael and Holly the same way again. You bastards. But in all seriousness, look, this is a well-acted movie. Steve Carell is, again, proving that he's, aside from The Office and 40-Year-Old Virgin and Brick Tamland, sometimes, like in Anchorman movies, I've been preferring Steve Carell's dramatic roles, and he's proving it here too. Maura Tierney is nice as the support, but she really doesn't get that much to do. She's the stepmother character. She's a nice lady in this, she's not some evil stepmother. And she is good at what they give her. Amy Ryan, again, is the kid's biological mother. She's fine, but I mean, she doesn't really get that much to do except play the concerned mother. So the meat of this goes to Steve Carell and Timothy Chalamet, or however you say his name. The kid from that movie that everybody loves that I will never see. That's how I refer to him in my brain. They do some really good jobs here, portraying the father and son that wrote memoirs about this, about the kid's struggle with addiction and the father's struggle with his son's struggle with addiction. As a movie that's trying, like other movies have in the past, like Basketball Diaries with DiCaprio, is trying to show, how somebody with all the promise in the world can still fall victim to addiction. And, like I said, I myself, I felt like I had all the promise in the world, and I ended up crawling into a bottle for over 20 years. And here I am now, back in my hometown, way off course in what I thought my life would be. And just now am I starting to feel like I'm creating a life. So I get it. This, on the other hand, unlike movies that I've been just reviewing, like Atlanta, like the show Atlanta and Leave No Trace, this doesn't feel as authentic as those movies do. This feels like a movie. This feels like a movie, like a PSA movie directed towards, and please don't, let me explain, towards white families of means, that to show them that their child too can be addicted to hard drugs or alcohol or what have you. That it's not just inner city kids or, poor people that get addicted to drugs. That it can be anybody, and it just felt like, it just didn't feel like, I know that there are plenty of people, rich or poor, that get addicted to drugs, but it just, maybe it was the wrong time for me to watch this movie, because it just feels a little like, I don't know, preachy, but its heart is in the right place, if you know what I mean. It's like watching one of those Pure Flix movies that's not overtly religious, that's got its heart in the right place, is trying to give a good message without being too preachy. The ones that, you know, they just aren't like slamming it over your head. Like, this movie has a good message. It has its heart in the right place, but I just feel like it's just a little too, it's got a bunch of boxes to check off, and it's just checking off all the addiction movie checklists. And even though I know this is a true story, many of us go through the same things, whether you're on heroin or booze or whatever you're addicted to. It just seemed like, okay, well, this is that scene where he goes to rip off everybody and, you know, buy drugs. This is the, oh my God, my friend OD'd scene. This is my 30th scene where I'm leaving rehab. This is my, you know, another, you know, we got to have the scene where he's just there for the money. We got to have the scene, you know, like, and I just, I kept thinking about those kind of things. And even though movies like The Basketball Diaries aren't perfect, and, you know, crazy movies like Requiem for a Dream aren't perfect, I just felt like this, wow, the performances are good, and the message is on point, and it just felt, I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting it into words at how I feel about it, because I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on a story that's trying to help. It just feels like if you got a bunch of people in a room, if I didn't know this wasn't based on a true story, it felt like this is what how a committee makes a movie about addiction. And it kind of takes away from the impact that it has on me. I cared, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It may be one of those movies that I have to digest on. Maybe I should have digested on it a little bit more before I made this review. But I like to get all my thoughts out while they're fresh, so that I don't have too many regrets after the fact of reviewing something and go, oh God, I should have said that. Because I've been trying to get better at doing that in my reviews, while still trying to be as fresh as possible with them. And so I do recommend this movie. I do think that the performances are great, but it's like, when I say that in a movie that is about this kind of topic, maybe that's one of the other problems I have, is I don't know whether I'm supposed to watch this as like a movie or as a kind of a PSA story. I mean, it didn't feel as impactful as movies like Leave No Trace, which told a really powerful story without having to go all the way to the way that this movie does. And I don't know. So I think that's it. I mean, I wish that I had more positive things to say, other than, if you are going through addiction, this movie tells you that, you know, you got to help yourself. You know, when the father comes to the realization that you can't save anybody. They got to basically save themselves. But that's not what happens. See, he gets to this understanding. He gets to this place where he finally is able to say, I can't do this anymore. My kid nothing works. He's going to die with or without my help. And then you think, okay, this might be the part where something happens to this kid where he realizes, you know, I can't just rely, I can't keep going, I have to do this for myself. Kind of like how I felt when I decided I needed to stop drinking. It was my own, I had to hit my own bottom, and I had to be able to think to myself, if I don't stop, I will die. Sooner rather than later. And That's not really what happens here. Kid, and spoilers, okay? So just because maybe I need to be more contextual about this, but they in the middle of them telling this story at another place where support group people talk about how they can't fix it, they can't cure it, they didn't cause it, that kind of thing. It's a support group for people with family members or loved ones in addiction. And this lady tells a story about how she just lost somebody that died of addiction. And during this whole scene, like, you see this kid, Nick, shoot up heroin or whatever into his arm, and he falls down and he's shaking and he ODs. And then we fade, and he's in the toilet, and nobody's there to witness that he's dying. And then we just jump to, there's mom, here comes dad, how is he? And he's been there and done that, and now, like, and the movie pretty much ends pretty quickly after that, where they're just sitting there outside, kind of, here I am with my kid again. Will this be the first? Will this just be another time? And we fade to black, and we get he's been sober for 8 years, and I don't know. Maybe part of me is resentful that his family still came back. I mean, that could definitely play a part in this, is that maybe I'm resentful at my own family for not, still being there for me when I needed them. I don't know. But other than that, I do think that it's a fine movie to watch if you're a parent and you're worried about your kids, that kind of thing. I don't think that this movie's for, like, I don't need to watch this movie ever again, because it just doesn't, all it did was kind of make me, like I said, wish that I had parents like this. So, but again, like I said, as far as watching it like a movie, this is a fine movie. This is well acted, if kind of preachy and kind of emotionally manipulative. But at the same time, since I know it's a biopic and some of this is true at least, I can recommend it at least to watch once. And everybody can take away from this. Somebody might watch this and it might change their lives. And if that's true, that's freaking great. It didn't have the same impact on me, and I wish it did. So anyway, that's all I have to say about it. And it is complicated, because I kind of want to say a lot more. I just don't want to dig myself any deeper into a hole than I feel like I'm already getting. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking on Review saying, have a great night. Thanks for choosing to watch this video, and we will see you on the next one.